And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 heads. The name of the first is Fizon. It encompasseth the whole land of Abila, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is very good. The bdellium and the onyx stone are there. And the name of the second river is Gihon. It encompasseth the whole land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Attikel. It goes toward the east of Ashur. And the fourth river is the Pharat. Give thanks. I'm reading from the Israelite Samaritan version of the Torah, edited and translated by Benjamin Tzedekah. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to our mystery. Today we're focusing on the harmony of heritage, unveiling Indigenous Israelite and West Indian roots, MtDNA facts. Part 1, who are the Indigenous Israelites? The Indigenous Israelites are Jews, meaning people of the land of Judea or Judah, Israel, also called Canaan, the Holy Land. Let's start at the beginning. Starting at the beginning, and that would be in southern Ethiopia with Omo Kibish 1, Omo 1, which is where we find the oldest anatomically modern Homo sapiens. These skeletons date from around 233,000 years ago. There are even older Homo sapien fossils from Jebel Arud in Morocco. However, they exhibit a mixture of archaic features, meaning prior to being hominins prior to Homo sapiens, as well as anatomically modern Homo sapiens. And the Jebel Arud skeletons date to around 315,000 years ago. How humanity dispersed? There were 2 main accepted dispersal routes for the out of Africa migration of early anatomically modern humans. There's the northern route via the Nile Valley and Sinai, and the southern route via the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Regarding the northern route, again, which would be through the Sinai, that was the initial dispersal of Africans, the first humans from Africa. We have in Oman, a site that was discovered containing more than 100 surface scatters of stone tools belonging to the late Nubian complex, known previously only from archaeological excavations in the Sudan. 2 optically stimulated luminescence age estimates place the Arabian-Nubian complex at approximately 106,000 years old. And as a result of this, there is evidence for a distinct Stone Age techno-complex in southern Arabia around the earlier part of the marine isotope stage 5, which is the peak of interglacial substage between 130,000 to 80,000 years ago. And I was reading from Rose G, the Nubian complex of Darfur, Oman, and African Middle Stone Age industry in southern Arabia from PLOS One journal. And I find all of this very fascinating. I just want to give more of explanation of how our early ancestors actually left Africa and settled in the Holy Land by reading carriers of mitochondrial DNA macrohaplogroup L3 basal lineages migrated back to Africa from Asia around 70,000 years ago. This is by BMC Ecology and Evolution, Vincent M. Cabrera et al. The June 19th, 2018 publication. And I quote, Under the scenario proposed here, early anatomically modern humans traveled out of Africa approximately 125,000 years ago with a simple Middle Stone Age technology that was not superior to that manufactured by the Neanderthals. Favored by mild climatic conditions, these African pioneers progressed through West Asia and further followed the southern boundary of Central Asia, potentially overlapping en route the southern geographic range occupied by the now extinct hominins. Furthermore, as Neanderthals and early modern humans are associated with the same lithic industries in the Levant, it seems plausible that a new vision of the early and middle Paleolithic fossil and archaeological records of those regions might uncover the path followed by those early African colonizers. Under favorable conditions for both hominin groups, we might predict limited exchange of skills, lithic technology, and sex. However, when glacial environments became dominant after 75,000 years ago, Neanderthals retreated southwards, possibly displacing humans as they went. Confronted with the northern foothills of the Himalayas, humans moved in two directions, westwards, eventually to return to Africa, and eastwards, eventually reaching southeastern Asia via China. What is MtDNA? MtDNA is the DNA located in mitochondria, which breaks down food into usable energy for cells. It is also maternally inherited through the mother. DNA is basically the genetic information inside the cells of the body to help make people who they are. It actually makes people who they are. It's like a set of instructions for how to make the body like the blueprints for a temple or a house. And the haplotype is a type of MtDNA. The L2 haplotype is over 80 to close to 100,000 years old, and the L3 haplotype is over 70,000 years old. Many West Indian women also carry earlier lineages of L1 and LO, which are close to or over 200,000 years old. The L2 and L3 MtDNA haplogroups responsible for mothering Israel and the world they are also common among West Indian Seminoles. I'd like to share with you the first modern human dispersals across Africa by Tom Gilbert, editor, PubMed Central National Library of Medicine Journal. Based on fossil evidence, Eastern Africa has often been considered the most likely location for the emergence of AMH, meaning anatomically modern humans. The Omo-1 cranium found in southwestern Ethiopia and dating to 190 to 200,000 years ago is the oldest known fossil agreed to display AMH features. And alongside crania from Herto in northern Ethiopia dating to 154 to 160,000 years ago, and remains from Sudan and Tanzania provide the paleoanthropological case for an Eastern African origin. Other early modern Homo sapiens remains include the Jebel Arud fossils in Morocco, also dating to 160,000 years ago, albeit with wide confidence intervals and some disagreement about their status. And the Skull Kapsa remains in Israel, usually dated to 90 to 135,000 years ago, although the dates for Skull are much less certain than those for Kapsa, 85 to 95,000. The oldest agreed AMH fossil known in southern Africa is from Classisis River caves and dates to 65 to 105,000 years ago, although again its status as AMH has been contested, although there are more archaic remains notably from Florisbad, South Africa, dating to 190 to 330,000 years ago, indicating that a southern origin is a possibility. Thus, the fossil record is extremely patchy, but tends to point to a northern rather than southern, and in particular an Eastern African origin for AMH, again being anatomically modern humans, which is used as a term to distinguish us from archaic humans such as Neanderthals and middle and lower Paleolithic hominins. And early on, the popular convention was to classify Neanderthals as a subspecies of Homo sapiens. In sum, anatomically modern humans originated in Africa, and our first stop out of Africa was Israel, Judea, from 100,000 to 75,000 years ago. Both the indigenous Israelites and the West Indians share MtDNA, mitochondrial DNA L and L3, a common haplogroup among West Indian Seminoles, which includes all indigenous peoples of the Americas of African descent. Give thanks. Thanks for tuning in. And watch my follow-up videos to learn more about who the indigenous Israelites were, what were the nature of these cultures, what did they look like. Give thanks for their invaluable, undying contribution to humanity, their contribution of the gift of life. Peace. Check out our Patreon page for patron privileges at patreon.com/wistribe, and look into opportunities to join us below, as well as sign our petition for Indigenous rights. Peace. Are you tired of working that 9 to 5? Gotta scrimp and save just to survive? Come get the tools you deserve to thrive when you decide to take the dive into the pursuit of your own bliss. Come learn how to start a business. For the book or the course, you just need to go to the website linked below. All brought to you care of Online Pro.